Hello everybody and welcome to a video on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel, or wherever you're watching from. Whether it's Pure MTGO or ConstructiveCriticism.com, wherever you are, I really appreciate you. With that being said, it's another deck tech, and it's another Gruul deck. I mean, at this point, if there's a Gruul deck that's potentially playable, I'm going to talk about it. And today is no exception. It's a deck that I've been playing with a little bit, I'm really excited about, and I'm excited to share it with you, the viewer. With that being said, let's talk about Gruul Adventures. So I'm going to read off the main deck that we have. We have 4 Edgewall Innkeeper, 4 Pelt Collector, 1 Ember Shieldbreaker, 2 Rimrock Knight, 2 Paradise Druid, 2 Dahmer's Ambush, 4 Gruul Spellbreaker, 4 Lovestruck Beast, 4 Bonecrusher Giant, 4 Questing Beast, 2 Karn, the Great Creator, 2 Sarkhan the Masterless, 2 Embercleave in the main. And then we have some lands. We got 1 Castle Embereth, 5 Mountain, 10 Forests, 4 Stomping Grounds, and 3 Fabled Passage. So one thing you'll notice is I have my sideboard up already. It's already something I'm showing off. And the reason for that is I think the first question that everybody's going to have about this deck is Karn. So first of all, Karn's activated ability is actually kind of weirdly good. You know, whether it's a bunch of people playing things like the Great Henge, or whether they're playing Witch's Oven, or things like that, just stopping activated abilities of artifacts your opponents control, I mean, it even just stops food tokens. It's kind of weird. And it's certainly something that I've done a lot of now. Karn, chef's kiss, very much appreciated. And you get this kind of cool toolbox sideboard. We have 1 Sorcerer Spyglass, we've got 1 more Embercleave, we've got a Great Henge, and we've even got a Stonequill Serpent. Stonequill Serpent is one that I actually tried in the main deck quite a bit, sent over by one of our patrons, Matthew Reichs. He actually has qualified for multiple Pro Tours now with Gruul over the past little while. Just, if you're looking for a guy to love Gruul from, to learn Gruul from, and that will appreciate Gruul with you, Matt's your guy. Anyway, so Matt had sent me a list with some Stonequill Serpents, so I've actually been trying those over Pelt Collector, in conjunction with Pelt Collector, and kind of stuff, and all that kind of stuff. And they were so good that I'm actually leaving them in the sideboard as a one of to get off of my Karn, because I have done it so often that even though I'm playing these Pelt Collectors in the main, I still want to get an artifact creature that I'm pretty happy with for Karn. The other thing that you might notice about this deck is, if you actually look, we only have 11 adventure spells. We got the 1 Shieldbreaker, the 2 Rimrock Knights, the 4 Bonecrusher Giants, and the 4 Lovestruck Beasts, but we still want those Edgewall Innkeepers. And I think the main reason for this is that Lovestruck Beast plus Edgewall Innkeeper is just one of the best things you can do in Standard. And the other thing is just like, just Bonecrusher Giant in general in Gruul just means that you get to play more creature spells. I mean, I had such a hard time getting to 25 creature spells in the past. I'm going to pop this up for you. We have 29 creature spells in this deck. And that actually just means that this Dahmer Chaosbringer out of our sideboard is going to hit a very large amount of the time. One of the other changes that I made over other decks that I played is I am playing the 4 Gruul Spellbreakers. I think that the fact that you have, effectively 5 Embercleaves in your 75 means you really want Gruul Spellbreaker in conjunction with Questing Beast. They're the 2 best cards to put Embercleave on, probably in all of Standard, and I really wanted to be able to maximize that. And for that reason, once we decide that we want Pelt Collector over Stonequill Serpent, Gruul Spellbreaker makes a lot of sense. It really presses your opponent. It can play big in the other matchups where you kind of need a 4/4 and things like that. It really lets you pivot in different ways in different matchups. And once you've kind of gone all in and saying, well, Gruul Spellbreaker or Pelt Collector is really good with Lovestruck Beast on both sides. The fact that I can play after it to kind of have additional ones so I can start attacking, as well as just like it growing the Pelt Collector. It's just kind of, it makes sense to have that card. The other thing is I have Paradise Druid in this deck. I've actually tried Craw Harpooner. I tried Zertog Goblin. I think, honestly, your mana is just so bad. I mean, if we look here, we're playing 17 green sources and only 13 red sources. And I think that Paradise Druid just both, while you already have Questing Beast and Karn that you kind of want to get into, just having a little bit of mana fixing, it's actually helped quite a bit, especially since we're already on 23 lands. There are versions of this deck that play 24, there are versions of this deck that play 25. Overall, I would just rather have Paradise Druid and kind of get wins that way. Kind of the last things to talk about here, Dahmer's Ambush is like a really flexible card. I know for me personally, like I try to fit Thrash Thread into everything, and I think a while ago I had talked about Dahmer's Ambush versus Thrash Threat, and kind of why Dominor's Ambush went out. Like, you just get to punch something right in the face, and then start attacking. So you're able to, like, kill a creature and then kill a planeswalker on the same turn pretty often with this, just making it a really, like, strong tempo play. And what more would you want other than a strong tempo play in a deck that, is playing all of these 3-mana cards? And the other thing is like, double spelling in this deck is pretty important. And while Thrash certainly lets you double spell, this lets you kind of double spell in different ways. Your creatures are certainly large, right? It's not like you have small creatures, but just making them slightly bigger, right? The number of times I've just cast a Dominor's Ambush on an Edgewall Innkeeper to maybe kill one in the mirror or kill a knight. It's actually been pretty high. So much so that, as we see here, I do have the third one in the sideboard. This is over a Lava Coil, or over another removal spell that this could be. I think the Dominor's Ambush just kind of puts in a lot of work. Outside of that, we have the 2 Sarkans. I think that, this card is secretly really good against Nissa on the play, and because of that, you want some in your 75. There are certainly formats, I believe, and even in this deck, where these could just be mostly other things. Like, it could be another Embrith, and it could be, a Collision Colossus or something like that, and I think that would be totally fine. I think that right now, you're going to see some Nissas. Sarkhan's good against Nissa, and that's kind of where I want to be. The other thing that I really like about this deck's positioning right now, and specifically playing all these 1-drops, is kind of how good it is against counterspells. I have had multiple games where I, get an Edgewall Innkeeper out, and then you can kind of start just freely casting these other cards to gain card advantage and put pressure on your opponent. Rimrock Knight may not be able to block, but man, is it able to attack right after you cast it off an Edgewall Innkeeper against those flash decks. So, overall, I'm really happy with this main deck. It's something that I would recommend. Let's move on to the sideboard. We've got the 2 Cinderbinds. We've got the 1 Dominor's Ambush. We got that Sorcerer Spyglass we talked about. We got 2 Flame Sweep. We got 2 Thrashing Brontodon, 2 Shifting Ceratops, 1 Darmary Chaosbringer. We talked about the Embercleave, the Grey Henge, and the Serpent we talked about. Overall, one of the crazy things that I find about this deck is just kind of how good the sideboard cards seem to be in Gruul right now. Maybe that's because the mana's so bad, but like, Return to Nature deals with everything in that cat deck all at once. Cindervines is just a high-impact card against multiple decks that you can also leave in play against decks that you're worried about Embercleave or something like that, or the Fires deck, you get to just leave that in play, and they just, once they only get 1 spell off their Fires. Sorcerer's Spyglass is just kind of great when you have that Karn. Dominor's Ambush, we already talked about that. Flame Sweep. You know what? I don't know if this is going to be true in paper, and it shouldn't be true online, but I think you run into a lot more Knights decks than people realize, and Flame Sweep just kind of locks up those matchups. It's also good against like the Rakdos version of Cat. It's one that I think that you could cut down on if you needed other sideboard cards. Flame Sweep might be the one to go for me, because like, you already have Thrashing Brontodon that's good against those decks, good against the Fires decks, things like that. Shifting Ceratops is, another one that you might want 3 of. Maybe Shifting Ceratops is a big deal to you right now, whether it's the Izzet deck, the blue-white deck. There's a lot of decks that are not happy to see a Shifting Ceratops right now. Darmary Chaosbringer is my favorite Planeswalker in Standard. I didn't have it in the sideboard too long ago. I had actually taken it out, put other things in, and as I was building this deck again, I just realized how much I wanted this card. I wish that there was room for it in the main deck. I don't think there is, but you're going to be really happy on the play with this card against a multitude of decks, and then obviously it's just backbreaking against something like Blue-Eye Control. We have that Embercleave that we get, the Great Hinge that we get, and the Stoneclaw Serpent that we get with our Karn. I think you basically never board any of these cards in, unless you're boarding the cards out. So if you decide that like you don't want Karn in a matchup, then maybe you'll board in either any one of those 1-ofs, and maybe even this Sorcerer Spyglass. But overall, I'm really happy with this deck. It's like that I was excited to be trying out, and I'm excited to play. Let me know what decks you're playing, what you think of this list. Matt, if you're watching, obviously leave a comment. Let people know what you're playing. I know you type out another PTQ this weekend, so congratulations, man. Thank you once again, everybody, so much. Hit that like button, smash that sub button, and maybe check us out on patreon.com/ccmtg for everything that we're doing for constructed criticism. Thank you so much, and we'll see everybody next week, and this week even, with an episode with Seth Manfield on constructed criticism. Hey everybody, Spencer here. I just wanted to kind of talk about 2020 really quick at the end of this video. So in 2019, I was really busy with work, and things are not going to change there. I'm still going to be really busy with work, but I am going to dedicate more time to the network and the podcast and things like that. So if you're loving the content and you want to be a part of our community, please check out our Discord. We just did a free $500 tournament. We're going to do 3 more of those in the next year. Plus, I'm probably running some free tournaments for streamers in the Discord. So check it out. It's a place to talk to other people, improve at Magic the Gathering, and also just take part in this community and help others improve along the way. So the link is in the show notes, whether you're watching on Pure MTGO, on YouTube, or on the website, constructicriticism.com. Please, please, please check out the Discord. Let's lift each other up. Let's help each other improve in 2020. That's one of my main goals for the Discord, is just watching it grow and watching the community grow, kind of like we used to do on Facebook. Obviously the Facebook group was something that, I'm not on Facebook anymore outside of the Constructed Critics group. And so that's something that had to change. And I'm really, really excited for the future of this Discord and kind of what we can do together. So check that out. I just wanted to give a special shout out to that. And thank you everybody so much who competed in the first tournament. It was super fun. And look out for more details on future free half Ks in the Constructed Criticism Discord.